Hey guys, welcome to my channel, Realm of Ori. In this video, we will continue with Volume 16, Chapter 2, Interviews, Part 6. And before we start, this video contains spoilers from the Tensura Light Novel. And by the way guys, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click on the bell icon to get notifications for upcoming videos. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Souei came into the room and took the place of Benimaru. As soon as we were facing each other, I told Souei what was wrong. You know, you shouldn't make fun of Benimaru too much. Hey, that guy has always grown up late in weird places. I just thought that if I didn't talk to him, he might stay in the dark forever if I didn't. Wow, that's a good point. Benimaru had claimed that evolution was impossible without a successor, thus it was reasonable for Souei to be concerned. Well, let's stop there. Now, about your level of evolution. Souei was affected by how Benimaru changed. Name: Souei. Existence value: 1,281,162. Race: Divine Oni, Fair Chaos Spirit, Dark Spirit Oni. Blessing: Flare Lord Shadow. Title: Dark Shinobi. Magic: Dark Spirit Magic. Skill: Ultimate Gift Moon King Tsukuyomi. New resistance: Physical Attack Nullification, Abnormal Condition Nullification, Natural Effects Nullification, Mental Attack Nullification. Souei's skill is called Moon King Tsukuyomi, and it was given to him by Seal as the ultimate gift. It has many different abilities, such as Thought Acceleration, Eye of the Moon, Insta-Kill, Universal Perception, Ultra Speed, Parallel Existence, Spatial Manipulation, Mental Manipulation, and Multi-Layer Barrier. Hold up, you can even use Parallel Existence now? I was so shocked that I had to ask, and Souei gave me a flat answer. Yes, like Velgrin-sama, you can't use more than one at the same time, but I'm proud to say that one is enough. Yes, that is something to be happy about. One is enough on its own. With this, even Souei is close to being impossible to hurt. But the Eye of the Moon might be the most interesting. It was a skill that let you control shadows at will, so you could do different things without your opponent knowing you were there. It had such a big reach that a whole town could be controlled by it. This skill is especially good at gathering information, but it could also be used to kill someone. My masterpiece is Souei's skill. I tried to fit as much of what Souei wanted into Master's memory of the ninja as I could. I thought it was a lot, but I guess that's why I thought that. Eye of the Moon is great because it can also be used by a clone. If Souei sends clones to different places and uses Eye of the Moon to share information, Telepathy Net can get information from all over the world. I can see why your work makes you so proud. As I learned more about it, I saw how powerful it was. In other words, this was like a better version of my Argos spell, which I used to keep an eye on people. He could now keep an eye on what was going on around the world and hear what was going on. He had changed and grown into a man who could be counted on. Souei would still be in charge of all of our country's intelligence work in the future. Okay, then, I'm giving you the new title Darkness, so please keep leading the dark shadows in the service of our country. Haha, everything we do is for Rimuru-sama's sake. Okay, I'll count on you then. I told Souei that, and then I thanked him. After that, I talked to Souei for about an hour, asking him if he had any problems or how Soka and the others were doing. He told me that the 5 members' existence values had grown to almost 200,000, and that Soka's value was 261,898, which was very high. She could even compete in battle with the higher ranks because she was on par with a lieutenant of a former demon lord. This battle seemed to have made her much stronger. Souei had told me that battle was the best way to train. But you should know that just because you can do something doesn't mean that other people can too. Everyone has their own strengths and weaknesses that are unique to them. Souei was very skilled, but I hoped he wouldn't have the same high expectations for everyone under him. Even the most motivated people could lose their drive if you did that. Doesn't it make sense that we do everything we can for Rimuru-sama? Well, that doesn't make sense. Don't you see? No one will be able to follow you if that's all you do. As a supervisor, it's your job to take better care of your subordinates so they can do their jobs well and enjoy them for a long time, right? I see. So you're saying I should be more careful with how I use my tools, right? Stop referring to your companions as tools. Glory in your work is very important, but it shouldn't be forced on you. If you, as a superior, can show appreciation for the work of your subordinates, they will be very happy. I see. In fact, Rimuru-sama's praise brings me the most happiness. Also, why don't you use this chance to get together with your subordinates? I understand. As their superior, it's my job to understand how they feel, so I'll make sure to take better care of them in the future. Remember to take things in moderation. Anyway, I told him what I thought for the time being. Afterwards, Soka and the other people wrote me a thank you letter. The letter was covered in tears of happiness, and I was happy that I had done something good. Gabil, who came in after dinner, was the next person to be interviewed. Gwahahahaha. I, Gabil, have come to see you because Lord Rimuru asked me to. Gabil was still full of energy today, or rather tonight. I told him to be quiet because it was late and invited him to sit down. I asked Shuna to make tea, and then we got to work. This time, you did a great job. Because of what you did, everyone made it back to safety. You did well to stick with it until the end, and I'd like to thank you in person. I was thankful to Gabil, not as a representative of my country, but as a person. If Gabil hadn't been able to hold out, many people would have died. Rimuru-sama, I'm overwhelmed by what you've said. Gabil started crying. I was blown away. I didn't want to upset Gabil's mood, so I waited for him to calm down before talking to him. Rimuru-sama is the only reason I was able to win and even stay alive. After hearing Gadra Dono's whisper, I was sure that voice was Rimuru-sama. Wasn't it? Oh, so that was Ciel's voice he heard. Well, kinda. It was hard to explain, and since Ciel was my ace in the hole, it was best not to tell anyone about her, so I decided to go along with Gabil's mistake. I was right. I know that if I hadn't gotten that power, I wouldn't have been able to win the battle. I've always been told not to get too excited, so I won't take credit for what I've done. Gabil answered, but something about the way he looked told me that he was serious. You have grown up. Haha, just hearing you say that makes me very happy. Gabil started to cry again in the same way he had before. I gave him a towel because a handkerchief was no longer enough. Gabil's health was just as bad, but he had grown so much. Name: Gabil. Existence value: 1,263,824. Race: True Dragonute. Fair Chaos Spirit. Water Spirit Dragon. Blessing: Rimuru's Blessing. Title: Dragon Lord. Skill: Ultimate Gift Psychology King Moodmaker. Intrinsic skills: Dragon Skin, Ultra Instinct, Magic Perception, Flame Breath, and Thunder Breath. New resistance: Physical Attack Resistance, Pain Nullification, Abnormal Condition Resistance, Mental Attack Resistance, Natural Effects Resistance, Holy Demonic Attack Resistance. Before I knew it, he had grown strong enough to match Souei. Psychology King Moodmaker, which was Gabil's ultimate gift, was also one of Ciel's best works. It wasn't something they got on their own, but that didn't mean it was bad. Gabil was able to get this power because he was smart enough to do it. The 5 main skills were Thought Acceleration, Unexpected Effects, Spatial Manipulation, Change Destiny, and Multi-Layer Barrier. The most dangerous power was called Change Destiny. It could only be used once a day, but it could turn the tide of battle against a stronger opponent. What would have happened if someone besides Gabil had found out about this? If someone like Diablo had gotten Change Destiny, they would have without a doubt been the strongest. When I looked at it this way, I thought Gabil was a pretty good person. What surprised me the most was the way he fought. Gabil told me about the battle scenario he was most proud of after wiping away his tears. Well, the enemy's spear was heading at me, so I laughed and hit it with mine. The Vortex Spear was Gabil's magic weapon. It was a unique grade item. People said it was the Lizardmen's secret treasure, but it was only unique grade. Still, when I heard that the Vortex Spear had won against the mythical-grade Seiryu, the Blue Dragon Spear, I thought it was a joke. It doesn't look like the winner is decided by who did better. Gwahahahaha. Gabil was laughing, but it seemed clear to me why. If the other weapon had been a legendary grade, I could have forced myself to accept it, but if it had been a mythical grade, I couldn't do that. The only choice was. Gabil's skill was added to his Vortex Spear by accident. It seems likely that the spear didn't break because it was protected by the highest level of power. Well, it looks like that's the case. In that way, too, Gabil was pretty great. He does work hard, but he doesn't stand out because of how he usually acts. He was a jack of all trades, who could do everything from research to fighting. We knew he would do a lot of good things in the future. Could you leave that Vortex Spear with me for a little while? I'd like to ask Kurabi to revive it. What? That is, we'll let the experience of the weapon be passed on, and we'll make a new one. I'll give the material Hahirakane, so it might even be possible for it to become mythical grade. As a reward for winning this battle, I really wanted to make Gabil's weapon stronger so that he could fight through any tough battles that might come up in the future. If Gabil didn't want to give up his family's weapon, I would come up with another way to do it. By all means, go ahead and do it. Gabil gave me the spear again while crying. Gabil would get even stronger now that he could use a better weapon. If he was known as a master of the mythical level, his existence value would also go up. Since Gabil could turn into a half-spiritual being, his resistances would also go up. The heavenly flying crowd, which was made up of Gabil's subordinates, had an average existence value of over 200,000 at this point. I was hoping that they would continue to help Gabil. Gabil had cried the whole time, but the interview went well in the end.